So welcome all of you. This is your first class regarding the control and instrumentation, because two different subjects are collaborated this time. That is, one is control section. Control is a major portion of your syllabus. Another thing is there with the control, you have to study a little bit instrumentation of one. That means I have seen the syllabus. First, we will discuss the syllabus in today's class. Then we will go for the rest of the theoretical part. Brief introductory portion we will discuss in our today's class. So first of all, before discussing or before going to the detailed syllabus, I want to share the syllabus and we want to discuss the basic things that are included or that are mentioned according to the McCaughey syllabus. So just I will share the screen first. So I think it is visible. If you see the subject code is EC601. The subject name is Control System and Instrumentation. If you see, that is a three credit subject. So 3 lectures will be allotted for this particular subject. So if you see the first content, they have not subdivided into modules. So you can see that different 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can see 7 different contents are mentioned, 7 different portions are mentioned in the according to the syllabus. So first of all, just go to the content, and if you see the first content they have mentioned according to the syllabus, that is the introduction to control system. That is what is basic control system, why we are studying this kind of subject, that we have to study first before going to the details of the subject, before going to the content of the subject. We have to first see what is the heading or what is the significance of this term control system, as well as I already mentioned there is another term that is called the instrumentation. There was a subject that is called the electronics measurement and instrumentation. They have just kept the measurement portion. They have just included 1 or 2 module related to the instrumentation one. So first of all, introduction to the control problem. You see the first topic you will find, that is the industrial control applications. So examples, what are the different applications of the control system? What is basically control system, that you have to see. Then obviously the rest of the part, that is the transfer function. This is a very important parameter. You already studied in the signal system what is the basic definition of the transfer function and all these things. So transfer function, open loop, and the closed loop, that is the feedback control system. Block diagram and the SFG, these are the 2 very basic concepts. Before going to the details of the control system, we have to see what is the block diagram reduction technique, what is the signal flow graph, and then we will see the stability of the system, different stability of the system, feedback control system, because control is basic. Controlling means we have to go for a certain stabilized system. How can we achieve this condition? What are the different external or the internal parameters that we have to regularize, that we have to regulate to control the appropriate output, that is the content of the feedback control system. So if you see the inner part of the feedback control system, the first thing that we have to study, that is the stability concept. What is stability? What is relative stability, route stability criteria? All these topics are very important. All the topics are important, so don't miss the class. That is that is the request. So if we skip one portion, that is very difficult to touch the next one or touch the next topic. So route stability criteria, steady state error calculation, steady state accuracy, disturbance rejection, insensitivity as a robustness, different types of controller systems with the different realization, PI, PD, PID. These are the different controllers that you have to study. Next, the portion we have to study, that is according to BTech syllabus, we have to study the first order as well as the second order control system, that is called the steady state error system, AC system, and the error constants, performance analysis of the system, time domain analysis, the root locus method. How can you functionize, or how can you find out the root locus method? How can you implement this root locus method to the design aspect? Lead and lag compensation circuits. All the individual topics are really very important. Next, the frequency domains, because the first topic that we have just discussed about the route stability criteria, route heuristic criteria, that we will see the lead lag compensation. Till now we have studied regarding the time domain. Then you have to go for the frequency domain analysis. So frequency domain analysis in case of control system, without the polar plot, without the polar analysis, already not in the polar plot, not only the exact one method, there are several methods that will be included, but polar is a very important method. So first we have to study the polar plot, then we will see the Bore, Nyquist, all of the different matrix, what are the different formats that we have to study one by one. So these are important, as well as time domain and the frequency domain. Both the two topics are really important in the control system point of view. Next, we have to see what is the state variable analysis. That is a very approach, very soothing kind of approach that ultimately move to the advanced control system, because the jet transformation, the discrete control system, the digitized controlling methods, that is the initial part. So state variable analysis, the concept of the state variable, state transition matrix, STM parameter that we have to study. We have to see the homogeneous and the non-homogeneous state equations, the transfer function with state space approach, the concept of controllability and the observability. These are the parts. Next, slightly, they have briefly, they have mentioned the initial part, that is the nonlinear control system, because the you see, we are little bit interested about the linear control system. The non-linear control system is an advanced topic that will be included, or that are basically included in the instrumentation as well as the electrical engineering. But as a CE student, you have to study mostly the linear control system. With the linear control system, little bit portion you have to study, that is called the non-linear control system, basic concept and the analysis, this describing function, introduction to the optimal control system, regulatory problem, output regulator, tracking problem. This is the last part, that is the last module of the control system that I have mentioned. So up to this content, up to this nonlinear control system, that is a part of the control system. With this control system, another portion, another part, they have already, I think I have mentioned the full name of the subject, that is the control system and the instrumentation. So that at the last part of your syllabus, you will find they have slightly given the instrumentation and little bit measurement techniques. So CRO measurement, how can you measure with the C? Because CRO measurement is a very equipped portion for the electronics engineers. All the laboratory, we have to study the CRO. How can you measure the different voltage per division, time per division? How can you operate the CRO? How can you check, or how can you calibrate the CRO? These are all the things we have already studied. We have already practiced, not studied really. We have already practiced in our laboratory. So this CRO, the measurement with each and its function with block diagram representation, wave and spectrum analyzers, this is a typical type of instruments that is used in case of high-end communication system. Requirements of these instruments and their function with block diagram, LVDT, little bit LVDT, DC and AC servo motors, introductory part, TECO generators, electro-hydraulic valves, hydraulic servo motors, electro-pneumatic pneumatic valves, these pneumatic actuators. These are basically a little bit portion you have to study. Mainly the control system. With the control system, a little bit portion we have to go with, that is the instrumentation part, that is the measurement part. So that is the roughly, or that is the detailed syllabus that is mentioned, or that we have to follow. This is our target syllabus, that is our prescribed syllabus. One by one we have to go with this. So first we will discuss, or we will start with the control system, because that is the major portion. So control system, we have to follow a typical type of book that is called the Hasan-Shoei. So many books are there, but initially we will study the Hasan-Shoei, then we will take some help from the Manke, then we will use for this Nyquist, Bore, for these things, another books are there. Day by day, I will mention the thing, I will increase the contents. So first we will start with the Hasan-Shoei. And for this measurement purpose, though that is not required at this particular moment, but measurement purpose or the instrumentation purpose, we can use the Quilshi. That is a little books, because A.K. Shahani and the J.B. Gupta, these are very huge amount of books. A little bit portion you have to study for the instrumentation portion. So Quilshi will be sufficient to give this kind of informations. Especially this CRO portion, the LVDT, the different types of hydraulic servo motor systems that we can easily study from the Quilshi book. Before going to the details of this particular content, just I want to share the thing, that is the Hasan-Shoei book, briefly the different articles of the different parameters that are mentioned in the Hasan-Shoei that you have to go with, or you have to study. Just wait for 1 minute. I'll share the Hasan-Shoei content and then we will discuss. So that is the book. That is the automatic control system. We also find the MATLAB control codes are there, because these codes will be used for the laboratory purpose. And the writer name is S. Hassan Sheikh. That is easily available in our SIM library, so you can easily collect the book. So many chapters you will find. They have started with the basic introductory part of the control system, then they have slightly moved toward this time domain analysis, frequency domain analysis, the error analysis portion, the stability criteria checking. Next, we have to see the different types of controller sections. So all of these contents we can easily find out from this Hassan Sheikh book. This is a very beautiful one. Very easily you can find out the contents from this Hassan Sheikh book. So,
Hello, sir.
Huh?
Sir, এই বুকটা মানে লাইব্রেরিতে अवेलेबल?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, ইজিলি अवेलेबल। আর আমি এই কন্টেন্টটা আমাদের গ্রুপে আমি শেয়ার করে দিচ্ছি, ঠিক আছে বইয়ের।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ।
So in case of control system, the Laplace transformation is a very important content. Without the content of the Laplace transformation, we cannot move ahead. So we have to go with the Laplace transformation a little bit, not in the first class, but day by day we will implement the basic concept of the basic contents of the Laplace transformation. So first, we'll start with the introductory part, because this is the first section we have to study according to this particular syllabus. So what is this input-output relation? We know each and every system we have to give, if we want to get some respective output, or if we want to get some nominal amount of output, we have to give a certain amount of input. Until or unless we are providing certain amount of input, we are not able to get a certain amount of or feasible amount of output. So the introductory part they have mentioned, the control system is very important for all engineers. That is not restricted for the electronics engineers, electrical engineers, or mechanical engineers. Control is a type of thing, because each and every system, ultimately we are the engineers of the practical field, we have to deal with the system. So by each and every engineering aspect, the control system is a very vital one. We cannot skip the content of the control system. We cannot go without the content of the control system. So control system is a very useful subject, very important subject in the engineering aspect for each and every type of field application based engineers, because you have to, suppose you want to check the stability of a audio system, so you should know what is the different parameters of the audio system, what are the different contents of the audio system, how can you get the fruitful output from the audio system. So these are the different contents that you have to go with. So the control system they have mentioned is a very important for all engineers. This is a very important subject. We have already discussed. The first significant control device was James Watt's flyball govern. This is a very basic type of instrument or basic type of system, but that is the initial function or the initial stage of the application of the control system. See the year, that is it was invented in 1767. So long years ago, to keep the speed of the engine constant by regulating the supply of the steam to the engine. So that is the thing, that is the content we have to follow. Next, in control system, the behavior of the system is described of the differential equations. So differential equations means we have to implement, we have to go with certain amount of this Laplacian methods, certain amount of time domain of the frequency domain analysis methods. So that will include the Laplacian implementation. This Minovsky in 1922 showed that how to determine the stability from the differential equations describing the system. The differential equation may be ordinary differential equation that you have studied in your mathematics, or the difference equations. Difference equations, that is the new type of format. Though you have studied the difference equations, the different patterns of difference equations in your mathematics, but in this case you have to go with certain amount of special type of difference equations, special type of time domain approach. So we have to go with the basic control system method. Just 1 minute. So the input-output characteristics, the different parameters, we have seen the basic definition of the control system. So open loop control system. Open loop means that is without feedback. Open loop means basically there will be no feedback system. That is called the open loop. And the closed loop means that might be positive or that might be negative, but one feedback network should be there. So if you see the name, that is the open loop control system. The open loop control system is also known as control system without feedback. Just now I have mentioned, or non-feedback control system. So there is no feedback, as a type of feedback mechanism will be there. So in open loop system, the control system action is independent of the desired output. That means, suppose you are checking one system, you are increasing some volume, or you are seeing one television set without knowing the contrast, the color, the hue, different effects of the color system. You are viewing the thing, and if anybody do not ask you what is the quality of the, or is the picture quality is good, or if the picture quality is bad, that is an open loop system. You are only just seeing the television. But when you are giving your opinion that the picture quality, the color is less, suppose you are commenting, suppose Pranay is commenting that the color is less. So either you have to increase the color with your remote control, or you have to just go to the in front of the television set and manually you have to increase the color volume. So obviously this is called the feedback mechanism. So you are visualizing something, applying your intelligence, you are deciding that system is okay or not. If the output is not visible, if the output is not optimum, then what you can do, you can just implement your methods or implement your skills to increase or decrease the, to achieve the desired amount of optimal level. That is the portion, that is the thing. So in this system, the output is not compared to the reference input. So no comparison will be there. If there is no feedback, so there is no need to compare the thing. The component of the open loop system are controller and control process. So this is a very simple type of figure 1.1. If you see, so this is the controller that will control the process, and obviously there is another unit that's called the controlled process. So that will control the process, and that is this control process will be operated or will be deal with this particular portion. So what are the different components of the blocks? Obviously certain input you have to give. So this input we are giving, then we are applying this input to the controller section. The controller will deal with the input, and the controller will ultimately process the thing, and the controlled output will be given to the overall output section. So that is a block diagram or simple block diagram of an open loop type of system. Examples they have given: a automatic washing machine is the example of the open loop system. In the machine, the operating time is set manually, where that is, we are using the time button or time selecting knob. We are manually selecting the operating voltage, or operating time. So after the completion of the set time, the machine will stops. The machine will not act. So with the result, we may or may not get the desired. So the washing level or the desired amount of washable cloths we are getting or not, that will be checked by the washing machine, or that will be not be checked by me also. Because after a certain duration of time, the washing machine will stop its working principle or working state, and will just, then we have to manually check the thing, the system, the output that is provided or that we are getting from the washing machine, that is good or bad, or we have to imply or we have to implement another type of desired requirement time, or what is this, or we have to increase the time limit. So that is called the open loop type of system. No comparison will be there, no controlling mechanisms we are following, because there is no feedback is provided to the machine, that is at output. Point number 2, immersion rod. That means we are using, in case of cold season or the cold days, we are using the immersion rod. Is another example of the open loop system. This is a very risky system. The rod heats the water, but how much heating is required is not sensed by the rod because of no feedback of the rod. So there is no feedback mechanism. We are just increasing the temperature of the water by pressing the knob of the immersion rod, or by pressing the switch of the immersion rod, and after a certain while, we are checking the standard or the checking the heating level of the water. The water is giving us the desired amount of output or desired amount of heated water we are getting or not. If we are not getting the proper amount, then what is our task? We will just increase the time limit. Point number 3, they have given another example. A field control DC motor is the example of open loop system. So field control DC motor, if you see the block diagram figure 1.2, you can easily understand there is no feedback system we are allowing. There is no feedback system we are giving. Only input reference, field control DC motor, torque we are generating, then we are giving the thing, the load, and we are getting the speed or load position at the output we are providing or we are getting. So these are the 3 very basic examples for the open loop system. Don't take this example very casually, because in case of MCQ, they generally ask This is a type of system. This is a because automatic washing machine. This is much more interesting because the name automatic in the sense the performance or the different tasks that is the this water control, the time being that we have already mentioned or have already assigned to the washing machine that will be operated by the machine, that is auto generated, that will be automatically controlled. We have not externally or manually control these things. But automatic means that will not check the washing level or the desired level of the washing of the clothes. So that you have to check manually. So that is the system. That is, though this is an automatic washing machine, but that is a basic type of washing machine that will not be operated by manual condition. That is a open loop system example. Next, they have given another example. So that is called the, if you see the next page, that is called the fourth example for automatic control of traffic, the lamps of the 3 different colors that we are following this scheme each and every day in the road traffic. So for automatic control of the traffic, the lamps of 3 different colors, red, yellow, and green, are used. The time for each lamp is fixed. We know that is the time of each lamp is already mentioned. The timer is there. The timer will control the operating or the switching portion of this individual lights. So the operation of each lamp does not depends upon the density of the traffic, but depends upon the fixed time. So if the traffic is high, obviously the time will be greater, and that will be operated by one manual operator will be there. The traffic police or the traffic controller that will control this particular mechanism. That will not be controlled by the each sensing, the light is not sensing the density of the crowd or the density of the jam, and that will that switching option or the switching time that will be required for this particular operation, that will be decided by the system, that will be decided, that will be operated manually. So this is a best example, or that is a very simple example, because this system we are using our day-to-day life. So thus we can say that the control system which operates on the time basis is open loop system. So the traffic light or the control system that will only operate on the time limit or the time basis, that is the example of the open loop control system. So 4 examples we have just now seen. Each and every examples are very easier, very simple. So you have to just remember the examples. Not very difficult tasks, very easiest examples we are getting. Pranay, বোঝা যাচ্ছে? কোনো doubt?
No sir, no.
এটা সোজা আছে, মজা লাগবে দেখবে। কন্ট্রোল সিস্টেমের টপিক গুলো বেশ মজার কিন্তু, হ্যাঁ, কারণ এই জিনিসগুলো আমরা রোজ দিন ডিল করি। Next, obviously, we have seen the applications or the basic block diagram of the open loop control system. So obviously there should be certain advantages and Pranay তো instrumentation and control, তাই না? তোমার ডিপ্লোমা?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, হ্যাঁ।
তোমার পক্ষে তো এই সাবজেক্টটা অনেক সুবিধার হবে। তুমি তো পড়েছো অনেকটাই, তাই না?
হ্যাঁ এগুলো পড়েছি।
আচ্ছা। So obviously there are certain advantages and disadvantages we have to study, because when we are studying any system as an engineer, we have to study or we have to see what are the different advantages we are getting or what are the different disadvantages we are getting. So first, if we see, that is called the advantages. So the first advantage, the system is very simple. We have seen the block diagram of the system. That is not a very big or very sophisticated type of system. That is a very simple system. It is very simple to design. The first point of the advantages they have mentioned, the open loop control systems are simple. Second point they have mentioned, that is the open loop control systems are economical. Obviously simple, there is no sophisticated type of devices we're applying or we're approaching. So the system is simple. Obviously the system is economical. Point number 3, less maintenance is required and not difficult. If the system is very simple, if the system is economical, obviously the maintenance cost will be less, and no such huge requirement of maintenance is there, because very simple system, very easily we can manage the thing. Point number 4, proper calibration is not a problem. Proper calibration means each and every machine, if we want to get the appropriate or the desired or the optimum output day by day, along the 24/7 basis, 365 days. So we have to check the reliability of the system. Reliability of the system means if we are taking certain amount of readings repeatedly, the system should produce same amount of accuracy, the same amount of result. No deviation, the deviation from the exact result that is a very bad thing. So we have to be cautious, or we have to check the accuracy of the system day by day. But in case of open loop system, the accuracy, the calibration. So if we want to check, or if we want to get a proper optimum output, we have to check the calibration of the system also. Without checking the calibration of the system, we are not able to get the proper or the appropriate amount of results. So proper calibration is a very key point, or very key thing in case of control system. So the four advantages they have mentioned: first one is the open loop control systems are simple. Second one, open loop control systems are economical. Third one, less maintenance obviously is required, and that is not difficult. And the fourth point, that is called the proper calibration, is not a problem. These are the four advantages we are getting. Obviously, we have mentioned the advantages first. We have to see the disadvantages also. So obviously, we have mentioned four disadvantages. First one, open loop systems are inaccurate. That means we are not checking the performance of the system. We are not verifying we are not comparing the output. The output we are getting, that is good, that is bad, or that is moderate, that we are not checking. So obviously that is very inaccurate system. Open loop control system, or the open loop system, is very inaccurate in nature. Point number two, these are not reliable. Obviously, if the system is inaccurate, if the system is not totally maintained, or if the system, we are not checking the optimal value that we are getting or not, if we are not maintaining any feedback mechanism, so the reliability will be under threat. So the point number two that they have mentioned, this is called that these are not reliable one. Point number three, this is called this system, these are slow. That is interesting, because when we are not checking the feedback mechanism, when we are not providing the feedback mechanism, so obviously the system will be slow. So this is third point. This type of open loop system are slow in nature. Point number four, optimization is not possible. Because optimization is not possible means we cannot check the output, so there is no need, or there is no scope to go for the optimization, or to check the optimization level. So four disadvantages, again I am repeating, very simple, very easy to remember. What is the first? That is, they have mentioned open loop systems are not accurate, so this is the inaccurate system. Point number two, these are not reliable. So if you check the reliability issue, this is not at all a reliable system. Point number three, these are slow. The operating speed of the system is not fast. That is a slow system. Point number four, optimization is not possible. So no feedback is there. So we cannot check the reliability. So if we do not able to check the reliability, so there will be no optimization level. So that are the four different disadvantages we have mentioned. The next point, obviously, the two different types of systems you have to study broadly. First one is the open loop system. Obviously, the next one is the closed loop control system. This is a very common question, or common, we can say, the university, they are asking this kind of question. Describe or draw a simple type of closed loop system, and describe its operation. Operation means you have to draw this particular system, and you have to describe the different portions of the operation. So though we will slightly modify the thing. First, we will see the figure number 1.3. That is a basic, very simple type of system. Then day by day, we will improve our skill, and ultimately figure 1.5 will give the ultimate closed loop control system. So first, we will start with the basic thing. So what is closed loop control system? The closed loop control systems are known as the feedback control system. Obviously, in case of closed loop control system, there should be an amount of feedback we have to feed. Feedback means output, or a section, or a fraction of the output section will again be given to the input one. Again, I am repeating, what is feedback? Feedback means a fraction of the output will be again provided to the input section. That is called the feedback. So in closed loop control system, the control action is dependent on the desired output, because that we can control. We can check the output. If the output is not proper, or if we are not able to get the appropriate output, within fraction of time, we can arrange the system, we can change the feedback loop, we can change the mechanism, and we can achieve the desired amount of output, because that is in case of closed loop control system. With the feedback method, with the feedback mechanism, we can check the accuracy of the system, we can check the durability of the system. So if any system having one or more feedback paths forming a closed loop system. So we have till now seen very oftenly we have still now discussed a single amount of feedback mechanism is there, because in case of control system we will see there are different mechanism parts that will increase more than one feedback path also. Generally we use the single feedback path, but we can increase the number of feedback paths from the 1 to 2, 2 to 3. So we'll see day by day we'll discuss the rest of the different types of feedback mechanisms that we can provide. So what is the closed loop? If now the time already is that we will discuss the basic block diagram of the closed loop system. So in the closed loop systems, the output is compared with the reference input and error is produced. Obviously, when we are checking or when we are comparing the two things, comparing means at least two amount of input will be there. So one input we are directly getting from the reference input stage, another input we are getting from the feedback path. So these are the two inputs. So if we tally the two different types of systems or two different type of inputs, either the inputs we are achieving, either one condition might be there, that is a very good condition, that we are achieving a desired amount of output. That is first condition. Second condition that might happen, we are getting a greater amount of output from the desired one. And the third condition, we are getting a lesser amount of output from the desired one. So these are the three conditions we can get if we provide any kind of, or if we see any kind of feedback mechanisms. For the different points I have mentioned, if we check the or if we make or if we design any kind of feedback system, so three conditions that we have to face. We can arise three different conditions. First one, we are getting the appropriate or the desired amount of output with the feedback mechanism. Second one, we are getting a greater amount of output if you compare with the desired amount of output. And the third one, we are getting a lesser amount of output from the desired one. So these are the three different conditions that we may get. So if you see the reference input, and with the reference input, one controlled output means what is this feedback path? We have already mentioned, we have already seen feedback means from the output stage, a fraction of input, from a fraction of output that will be provided again to the input section. That is called the feedback. So one reference input we are providing to this particular system. This is a multiplier. So if you see this one portion is plus sign, another portion is the minus one, or the plus minus sign is given depending upon the nature of the feedback. We can say that that is a positive feedback or negative feedback. That we'll discuss later. But this, if you see the reference input, that is 1 point. Another point, that is from the feedback path we are giving the second input. So these are the two inputs that will be given here. Obviously, if we check the difference or if we add the thing, that will be the error signal will be produced. Then this error signal will be given to the amplifier one. Then the rest of the process we know. After amplification, we have to give it to the controller one. Controller will process the thing, and that will ultimately produce the controlled output. So what are the different parts? Again, I am repeating. First one is the reference input. Reference input is one end. Another end, we are giving the controlled output. From the controlled output, one feedback path we are maintaining. From the controlled output, a fraction of output we are taking, and via the feedback path we are giving to the input section. Next, the error signal we are producing. This error signal will be provided to the amplifier stage. After the amplifier stage, this signal will be provided to the controller one, and controller will control the thing, and that will be given to the process section, the process one. So this processor will process the thing, and that will be the will generate the controlled or the desired amount of output. That is the roughly you can say the block diagram of a very simple type of closed loop control system. Now they have given the example, very simple example. They have given in a room we need to regulate the temperature and humidity for comfortable living. Air conditioning, oftenly seen, already seen the air conditioning. In air condition, if you see the display blocks of the air condition, you will find some temperature we have to maintain. Suppose 24 degrees centigrade. So that is the desired temperature we want to maintain in a particular room. So the temperature that is displayed or that is displaying via that air conditioner board, that means we are getting the desired amount of output or desired amount of required amount of this particular output. So in a room, we need to regulate the we need to regulate the temperature and humidity for comfortable living. Air conditioners are provided with thermostat. Obviously, in case of air conditioner, nowadays we are replacing the thermostat day by day, but generally the basic function, we are providing some certain amount of air conditioners, air conditioner system. So thermostat system will provide it. By measuring the actual room temperature and compared it with the desired temperature, an error signal is produced. Obviously, the desired room temperature that is displayed via the air conditioner board, suppose 22 or 22 degrees, 4 degrees centigrade. This particular temperature you have to achieve. So first task is that check the room temperature, and the air conditioner will try to achieve this desired one. 24 degrees centigrade, 22 degrees centigrade, 20 degrees centigrade. What will be the desired temperature? That will be checked, that will be nullified, that will be verified by the air conditioner system, and will identify the desired output. So this, it will decide the temperature, and error signal is produced. That means we are achieving the thing. In case of air conditioner, there is no point that the temperature is almost 22 degrees centigrade. If the temperature is already 22 degrees centigrade in the room, so what is the air conditioner task? The air conditioner will try to keep the temperature that is already we are feeling, or we are getting at the room. That means suppose 22 degrees centigrade, this 22 degrees centigrade will be constantly maintained by the air conditioner. That will be task. But generally, if the temperature is high or if the temperature is less from the desired one, what we will do, we'll check the error signal. Error signal means we are getting the desired amount of output or not. That will be checked, and we will get the desired amount of output. That is the task, that is the durability, that is the feasibility, that is the accuracy. That will depend upon the accuracy of the system. So an error signal is produced. The thermostat will turn on the compressor, because compressor will be the thing that will control, that will regulate the temperature one. So, or off the compressor. So either switching on or switching off the compressor, we can regulate or we can validate the desired amount of temperature. So if we see the block diagram, that is a very simple one. This is the room temperature that I have already mentioned. Suppose this room temperature is 26 degrees centigrade, but the desired temperature we want, that is the 24 degrees centigrade. So obviously the 26 degrees centigrade temperature will be ultimately be controlled, will ultimately be processed to the temperature that will give us the filling for 24 degrees centigrade or 22 degrees centigrade that we want. So room temperature, then the comparison with the desired temperature. Desired temperature means this temperature we have already fixed at the air conditioner board. That will be compared. The error signal will be processed. The error signal will be generated. This signal will be given to the controller one. The controller will operate. Operate means it regulate the compressor circuit. The compressor will be switched on or switched off depending upon the controller action. And from the compressor, again the feedback will go to the room temperature, and that will again verify that we are achieving the desired room temperature or not. If we have achieved the room temperature, then the air conditioner, then the compressor will try to maintain the same temperature for the desired amount of time. Or if we are not able to get the temperature, then the operation will again goes on. That means the compressor will switch on again, and that will try to achieve the desired temperature. That is the more or less task. So room temperature will be there. This desired temperature is there. We'll compare the thing. After comparison, the error signal will be produced. The error signal will be given to the controller one. The controller will ultimately switch on or switch off the compressor depending upon the controller instruction, depending upon the controller action. The compressor technique will be switched on or switch off. Then we will see what will be the output that will be produced by the compressor. Then that will be again given to the room temperature. That is the block of the air conditioner system. So if in your examination, this kind of question, they might ask, with a system or with an example, describe the closed loop control system. So this is the ideal example already mentioned by the Hassan Said. They have mentioned the block diagram. You have to just draw the block diagram. You have to describe the operation that just now we have mentioned. Or briefly, if you see briefly, they have already mentioned the operation here within 2 or 3 lines. Advantages. These systems are more reliable. Obviously, we are using the feedback, so the systems are obviously reliable one. Point number 2, closed loop systems are faster. That is the first. That was one drawback in case of open loop system. The open loop system was slower. The closed loop system is obviously the faster one. Point number 3, a number of variables can be handled simultaneously because so many parameters were using the feedback mechanism. So many parameters, so many different functions we can use or handle very effortlessly. You can handle multiple amount of parameters. Point number 4, optimization is possible. That is another very good point where we can easily get the optimized amount of output. We can easily achieve the optimized amount of output. So what are the 4 advantages we are getting? These systems are more reliable. Point number 2, closed loop systems are faster. Point number 3, a number of variable can be handled simultaneously. Point number 4, optimization is possible. These are the 4 advantages we are getting. What are the disadvantages? Obviously, there are certain disadvantages. If you see the first disadvantage, where by visualizing this one, we can easily say that this system is complicated. So disadvantage is the first one. Closed loop systems are expensive. Obviously, the system is complicated. We have to use or we have to maintain the feedback mechanism. We have to use maintain the different portions. We have to balance the different portions. So obviously, this one is expensive one from the economical point of view. That is maintenance difficult. Obviously, if the equipments are higher, if the number of equipments is high, obviously the maintenance is obviously that will be difficult. Point number 3, complicated installation. In case of, if you see the AC installation, that is not a simple one. Technically, there are different points or different parameters that you have to maintain, and then we can get the desired amount of output. Until or unless we are maintaining these things, we are unable to get the output. So what are the 3 different disadvantages they have mentioned? First one is the closed loop systems are expensive. Point number 2, maintenance difficult. Obviously, this is a difficult task. Point number 3, complicated installation. The installation process is really complicated. Next point, they have given a beautiful comparison chart because this is another very common type of question that will be asked or that might be asked in a university examination. Write down the reference or note down the differences between the open loop and the closed loop system. So beautifully, in the Hasan Shahid book, beautifully they have noted down the points. First point, if you see the open loop system, these are not reliable. Closed loop system, these are reliable. Point number 2, open loop system, it is easier to build. Obviously, the number of components is less, no feedback is there, so it is easier to build. Closed loop system, it is difficult to build. Point number 3, if calibration is good, they perform accurately. If the calibration level is good, they perform the tasks accurately. Closed loop system, they are accurate because of feedback. They are not really inbuilt accuracy is there. So we are achieving the accuracy much more precise way, much more reliable way, because we are giving certain amount of feedback mechanism. Point number 4, open loop systems are generally the more stable because no feedback is there. So no need, no instability, no oscillation will be generated. So these are the most stable condition. These are less stable. Point number 5, optimization is not possible. Because no feedback is there, so we cannot achieve the optimized version. Closed loop system optimization is possible. So these are the 5 different points they have mentioned. They have compared the open loop system and the closed loop system. So open loop system they have mentioned, these are not reliable. Closed loop system, these are reliable. Point number 2, open loop system, obviously that we can easily build up the thing. The closed loop system, it is difficult to build. Point number 3, if calibration is good, they perform accurately. They are accurate because of the feedback. Point number 4, open loop systems are generally more stable. Closed loop system, these are obviously less stable. Point number 5, optimization is not possible. Closed loop system optimization, obviously that is possible. The last point we will discuss in today's class, that is the elements of or components of the closed loop system. That is basically the elaboration of this particular block, but I will suggest for this answer you can go with this particular block because this is a slightly modified one. So various components of closed loop system that we are using. First one, if you see, that is a command input we are providing, that will be provided to the reference input element. Then that will be compared to the feedback system. Then the control element will be there. Then the control system we are getting, and control output will be provided. From the output section via the feedback element, we are getting this side. So this is a very simple block diagram and very beautifully drawn. So what is this command? The command is the externally produced input and independent of the feedback control system. If you see this command input, there is no direct relation with the feedback mechanism with the command input, because command where the user, the input will be provided by the user. Suppose we are switching one on air conditioner. So we are, the user is basically switching on the system. So we are giving the command externally. There is no internal relation is there with the command input with the feedback mechanism. So that is called the command. The command is the externally produced input and independent of the feedback control system. Point number 2, reference input element. This produces the standard signals proportional to the command. So that will check the standard signals with the proportional to the command input. Point number 3, error detector. The error detector receives the measured signal. We know the function of the error detector, measures the input signal and compare it with all the references input. The difference of two signals produce the error signal. So obviously we know, if we see this particular block, we know at this point the error signal will be generated. So if you compare these two things, we are obviously getting the error signal. Point number 4, control element. This regulates the output recording output according to the signal obtained from error detector. Point number 5, point number 4, control system. The components represents what are controlling by the feedback loop. Point number 5, feedback element. This element feedback output to the error, feedback output to the error detector, the comparison with the reference input. So very simple function, very simple block. You have to just draw this particular block and you have to mention these different points. So what we have studied in today's class, very preliminary one. We have started with the basic introduction part. Then we have seen open loop control system. What is a block diagram of the open loop control system? Then we have discussed different types of examples or different examples that can be included in the open loop system. We have seen the different examples with the DC motor application also. Then next we have seen the advantages as well as the disadvantages of the open loop system. After that, we slightly move to the closed loop control system. First, we have seen the system, and then we have discussed about the different applications. First, we have seen, in this case, we have taken the application of the air conditioner, how the air conditioner ultimately regulate the temperature, that the process, briefly, the process with the block schematic or the block diagram. We have described the basic operation. Then we have seen the advantages as well as the disadvantages of this particular system. Next one, comparison between the open loop and the closed loop system is there. After that, we have seen the modified elements or the components of the closed loop system and the different blocks that are associated with the closed loop system. That's all for today's class. Next class, we will see another very important topic, that is the transfer function. We'll see what is the task of the transfer function. Then we will check the characteristics equation of a transfer function. That we will do the next class. And another point, Pranay, তোমার কি after বোঝা যাচ্ছে তো?
হ্যাঁ।
আচ্ছা প্রণয়, তোমার কি ফিস দেওয়া হয়ে গেছে?
না
হয়নি তো এখনো?
না।
আচ্ছা, তোমাকে যে নোটিশটা প্রোভাইড করা আছে, যবেই তুমি দাও না কেন, ওখানে তো মেল করবেই। আর আমাদের গ্রুপের মধ্যে না একটা তুমি ওই স্ক্রিনশট নিয়ে বা পিডিএফ যাই থাকুক না কেন, একটা গ্রুপের মধ্যে শেয়ার করে থাকবে। কারণ আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করা দেওয়া হলো নাকি? হ্যাঁ, বলো।
আচ্ছা, কলেজে গিয়ে দেওয়া যাবে না? কলেজে গিয়েও
দেওয়া যেতে পারে, তবে অনলাইন ট্রান্সফার তো মনে করতে হবে, তাই না প্রণয়? অনলাইন তো তোমাকে পে করতেই হবে, মানে অ্যাকাউন্টে তো পে করতেই হবে। কলেজে তো মনে হয় ডাইরেক্টলি ওরা ক্যাশ নেয় তো কলেজে, তাই না? ক্যাশ ডিপোজিট করা যায়?
হ্যাঁ, ক্যাশ। আমি তো ক্যাশই করেছি এতদিন।
ঠিক আছে, ক্যাশ ডিপোজিট তো করতে পারো। হ্যাঁ, তুমি যাই করো না কেন, একটা রিসিপ্টটা আমাকে সবসময় ওই গ্রুপের মধ্যে আমাদের দিয়ে রাখবে, যাতে আমাকে কেউ জিজ্ঞেস করলে আমি বলতে পারি, সেটাই তোমাকে জানিয়ে রাখবো।
হ্যাঁ। না মানে কিছুদিন পরে দেব, অ্যাকচুয়ালি মানে অ্যারেঞ্জ হয়নি তো।
আচ্ছা, তুমি আমাকে শুধু একটা জিনিস করে রাখবে, যদি কোনো কারণে দেরি হয়, মানে যে টাইম লিমিটটা কোনো বেসিক্যালি 10 তারিখের মধ্যে বা 15 তারিখের মধ্যে প্রসেসটা কমপ্লিট করতে বলেছে, তোমার যদি মনে হচ্ছে যে কোনো কারণে একটু প্রবলেম হচ্ছে, সেখানে কিন্তু রিতম স্যারকে একটা অফিসিয়াল মেল করে রাখবে, বুঝলে? তাহলে সুবিধা হয়।
ঠিক আছে।
হ্যাঁ, আমাকে একটা সিসি করে রিতম স্যারকে একটা মেল করে রাখবে যে স্যার আমি অমুক তারিখে দেবো। শুধু মেল করলে এরকম বললে হবে না যে অসুবিধে, কবে দেবে সেটা একটু মেনশন করে রাখবে। তাহলে ডিপার্টমেন্ট থেকে বলে দেওয়া যাবে যে প্রণয় অমুক তারিখে ফিসটা ক্লিয়ার করবে। ঠিক আছে?
ঠিক আছে।
কারণ এর মধ্যে তো জানো এটা তো আমাদের কোনো প্রসেস না, এগুলো অফিস থেকে আসে, তো অফিসে
না
ইনফরমেশন
না
গুলো
হ্যাঁ
আমাদের শুধু
হ্যাঁ
দিয়ে দিতে হয়। হ্যাঁ,
হুম
আর
ঠিক
আমি
আছে।
এই কথাগুলো তোমাদের সাথে বলা একটু অ্যাভয়েড করি সবসময়, জানো আমি পছন্দ করি না, কিন্তু যাই হোক যেগুলো
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
অফিসিয়ালি আমাকে বলতে হবে সেগুলো আমি তোমাকে বলে রাখলাম। যদি কোনো কারণে তোমার কোনো অ্যারেঞ্জমেন্টের প্রবলেম হয়ে থাকে সেক্ষেত্রে তুমি
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
এইচওডি কে অবশ্যই একটা মেল করে রাখবে।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা
এবং
ঠিক আছে।
সেখানে একটা ডেট মেনশন করবে যে আমি
হুম
ধরো সাপোজ 13 তারিখ দেবো বা 14 তারিখ দেবো, সেই ডেটটা যেন
হুম
মেনশন করা থাকে। ঠিক আছে,
ঠিক আছে।
আচ্ছা, এটা একটা কথা। আর একটা কথা হচ্ছে রিগার্ডিং মারের কি কোনো এর মধ্যে আর নতুন কোনো আপডেট আছে?
না কি নেই।
আর কোনো আপডেট নেই। আমরা একটা কাজ করি, এর পরের দিন যে ক্লাসটা থাকবে এই উইকে, হ্যাঁ,
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
সেদিনকে
হ্যাঁ
কিন্তু তেনজিংকে একটু অ্যাটেন্ড করতে বলো। আমরা সেদিনকে মার নিয়ে সেদিনকে ক্লাস আমরা করবো না, আমরা মারটা নিয়ে একটু ডিসকাস করবো, ঠিক আছে?
আচ্ছা, আচ্ছা।
হ্যাঁ,
ঠিক আছে
আমরা এখানে বসে মারের পয়েন্ট কত দাঁড়ালো সেটা নিয়ে একটু ডিসকাস করবো।
ঠিক আছে।
যদিও ইউনিভার্সিটি এখনো নোটিফিকেশন করেনি, তবে নাহা স্যার আমাদের রেডি রাখতে বলেছেন পয়েন্টস গুলো।
হুম হুম
15 তারিখ 16 তারিখের মধ্যে এক্সাম সেলে পাঠাতে হবে, তার জন্যই
আচ্ছা
আমি তোমাদেরকে আরো প্রেশারটা দিচ্ছি।
হুম হুম হুম,
আচ্ছা, আর একটা কাজ হচ্ছে ল্যাব ক্লাস কিন্তু প্রণয় এখন হবে না। কিষাণু স্যার যদিও শিডিউল করে রেখেছেন,
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
ল্যাব ক্লাস কিন্তু এখন হবে না। রুটিনে যেগুলো ল্যাব আছে
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
সেগুলো এখনই শুরু হচ্ছে না। আমি ল্যাব ক্লাস শুরু হলে আবার ওই ওখানে পোস্ট করে দেবো যে ল্যাব ক্লাস স্টার্ট হয়েছে।
হুম,
টিল ফার্দার নোটিস কোনো ল্যাব ক্লাস হবে না, শুধুমাত্র থিওরি ক্লাস শুরু হচ্ছে। বুঝতে পারছো?
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
ল্যাব
স্যার
ক্লাস
যদি
গুলো, হ্যাঁ
এই
বলো।
জিনিসটা যদি মানে এভাবে হয় তাহলে আমার কিছু অনলাইন এক্সামই হবে?
এইটা মানে খুব বিপদে হয়ে গেছে, মানে প্রিন্সিপাল স্যার বা আমরা বারবার চাইছিলাম যে এবার অফলাইন ক্লাস শুরু হোক, কিন্তু বুঝতেই পারো যে স্টেট গভর্নমেন্ট এখনো বা মাকাউটি কোনো নোটিশ এখনো পর্যন্ত করছে না।
হুম হুম
এবার সেটা কলেজের হাতেও থাকছে না, কারণ আমাদের পক্ষেও বোরিং, আমার পক্ষে তো রিয়েলি খুব বোরিং হচ্ছে। মানে এই প্রসেস গুলো আমরা
অসুবিধা
সামনাসামনি
হয়
করতে
ক্লাস
পারলে অনেক ভালো হতো।
করতে অনলাইন।
আমার এখন একটু
হুম হুম
বিরক্তই লাগছে অনলাইনে পড়াতে, সত্যি কথা বলতে। কিন্তু কি করব, মানে যতক্ষণ না স্টেট এগুলো তো আমাদের হাতে নয়, কলেজও মানে প্রিন্সিপাল
এতদিন
স্যার।
তো মানে মানে
না, অনেক দিন তো হলো নয়, আর কতদিন, তাই না? অনেক দিন তো হলো। এবার ব্যাপারটা এমনই
হ্যাঁ মানে
সেন্সিটিভ,
এতদিন তো মানে ছোট থেকে তো মানে
ঠিকই
ফিজিক্যাল
এমনই
ক্লাস করে অভ্যস্ত না।
অনলাইন ক্লাস করে অভ্যস্ত, তোমাদের পক্ষেও বোরিং ব্যাপারটা আমি বুঝি। সিমিলারলি আমাদের পক্ষেও খুব
হুম,
বোরিং, আমাদের পক্ষেও ব্যাপারটা ভালো না। এবার স্টেট গভর্নমেন্ট যতক্ষণ না, প্রিন্সিপাল স্যার এবার চাইছিলেন যে অনলাইন ক্লাস দিয়ে শুরু হোক, মানে অফলাইন ক্লাস দিয়ে শুরু হোক, কিন্তু কি করা যাবে? চেয়ারম্যান স্যারেরও তাই ছিল, চেয়ারম্যান স্যারও বলেছিলেন যে এবার অফলাইন ক্লাস
হুম,
দিয়ে শুরু করতে ক্লাসগুলো, কিন্তু যতক্ষণ না স্টেট গভর্নমেন্ট বা মাকাউটির থেকে কোনো নোটিশ পাচ্ছি, কলেজ তো এটা একা ডিসিশন নিতে পারবে না।
হুম,
কারণ
হুম,
আমাদের অ্যাকচুয়ালি অ্যাজ সাচ কোনো লাভ নেই প্রণয়,
হ্যাঁ
প্রত্যেকটা
হ্যাঁ
টিচারই রোজ দিন আসছে, এমন না যে আমরা আসছি না, আমরা কলেজেই আছি।
হুম,
কলেজে যদি আসি সেখান থেকে অনলাইন ক্লাস না নিলে
হ্যাঁ
আমাদের মানে নেওয়াটা খুব বিরক্তিকর। যেহেতু কলেজে প্রেজেন্ট আছি, অফলাইন ক্লাস নিতে পারলে অনেক ভালো।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
যাই হোক, তবে এবার মনে
হ্যাঁ
হয়
হ্যাঁ
পুরো
হ্যাঁ
সেমিস্টারটা অনলাইনে কাটবে না, সেটা হয়তো হবে না। ভোট ঠোট মিটে গেলে হয়তো
হুম,
এরকমও হতে পারে যে ভোটের পর
হুম।
অফলাইন ক্লাস শুরু হলো। এবার মনে হয় না পুরো সেমিস্টার এরকম অনলাইন যাবে।
সবার আবার যেভাবে করোনা বাড়ছে।
হ্যাঁ, মানে কতগুলো জিনিস এমন বিরক্তিকর, এবার এবার একটু বিরক্তিকর হয়ে যাচ্ছে ব্যাপারটা। অনলাইন ক্লাস
হুম,
জিনিসটা আর ভাল লাগছে না। যাই হোক, কিছু করার নেই, করতে তো হবে।
হ্যাঁ
তা এর পরের
হ্যাঁ
দিন
হ্যাঁ
আমার যে ক্লাসটা থাকবে এই কন্ট্রোলের, সেখানে কিন্তু ইসেকে তেনজিংকে একটু বলো, কারণ মান নিয়ে আমরা ডিসকাস করবো বলে, ঠিক আছে? একটু তেনজিংকে
ঠিক
বলো
আছে
আসতে।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা
হ্যাঁ,
হুম হুম
ঠিক আছে, তাহলে
হুম
আজকে
হুম
ক্লোজ
হুম,
করলাম
ঠিক আছে।
ক্লাস। আর আমি এই বইটা
হ্যাঁ
গ্রুপে শেয়ার করে দিচ্ছি, ঠিক আছে, পিডিএফটা।
আর লাইব্রেরিতে আছে না এই বুকটা?
লাইব্রেরিতে বইটা আছে, লাইব্রেরিতে বইটাই আছে।
হ্যাঁ
ঠিক
লাইব্রেরি
আছে,
থেকে নিয়ে নেবো কারণ
হ্যাঁ লাইব্রেরি থেকে নিয়ে
পিডিএফ
নেবো।
থেকে পড়তে অসুবিধা হয়।
হ্যাঁ, পিডিএফ থেকে পড়তে আমারও অসুবিধা হয়, তো নিয়ে নাও, লাইব্রেরি থেকে নিয়ে নাও।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ।
ঠিক আছে,
তা আপনি এমনি শেয়ার করে দিন এমনি
আমি
দেখবো।
শেয়ার করে দিচ্ছি গ্রুপের মধ্যে, এখনই করে দিচ্ছি।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
ঠিক আছে,
ঠিক
তাহলে
আছে।
ল্যাব যেটা আছে আজকে সেকেন্ড হাফে, আমারও একটা ল্যাব আছে তোমাদেরই কন্ট্রোলের, আজকের থেকে ল্যাব শুরু
হ্যাঁ
হচ্ছে না,
হ্যাঁ
শুরু হলে আমি জানিয়ে দেবো, ঠিক আছে?
ঠিক আছে আচ্ছা থ্যাংক ইউ।
ওকে।